Okay, so another request for a core workout. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take. I'm gonna shoot for about 15 to 20 minutes and then you can do it again if you want. This will be seated and standing core workout. You can do everything standing if you need to, just modify, let's get started. Okay, make sure you're watching that low back. If you need to put your hands underneath your tailbone at any point when you're on the floor, just put your hands right under here. That'll give you a little bit more stability in that lumbar region. Make sure that you're not yanking on your neck. If we're putting our hands behind our heads, you're not crunching this way or this way, keeping your neck nice and neutral, plenty of distance there between your chin and your sternum, and keeping those core muscles engaged the whole time. So it's not about how far you can go, it's about how tight you can get everything in here to kind of get tight and stay tight and work on supporting you as you move through your life. There's a couple of things here that you can use weights for. I'll let you know what they are when we get to them. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I'll grab some weights and do both options. So lightweight and medium-ish, or water jug, whatever you have at home, cans, etc. So I'm gonna grab some dumbbells and we'll get started. Also, big shout out to Melanie from Shot Free Rain for letting me borrow her tripod and light ring. So now we have some light in here that's not crazy diffused window light, and a little bit more stability with the with the phone. So thank you, Melanie. So we're gonna start on the floor. We're doing some roll-ups. So have a seat. The roll-ups, you are faced with several options here. You can keep your legs bent or straight. You can alternate between the two. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now. So I'm going to keep my knees slightly bent, and I'm just going to start actually with just some seated cat-cow here. So pushing my chest forward, and then rounding my spine, kind of hollowing out as much as possible. So just working through the spine flexion and extension, getting it a little bit warmed up, getting those joints ready. And as you're doing this, start to feel the contraction in your lower abdominal wall. As you round your spine, see if you can start to contract those pelvic floor muscles. Do some Kegels here. And see if you can feel the difference between making your arms work through this movement, so pulling yourself up with your arms, and then engage your abs and push yourself forward using those abdominal muscles, taking your arms out of it. Just play around with that a few times. Just start to feel that engagement if you can. You're going to start to feel your hip flexors a little bit here too, so if that gets to be a problem, just shake your legs out. You can do a couple of reverse planks. Just kind of get those hip flexors out of the equation, because as soon as they start taking over, then it's really a lot harder to engage those lower abs. So you want to make sure that those aren't getting too tight. So arms are coming out here. You're just going to continue that lowering. If you need to hold on to the backs of your thighs to get all the way back without crashing down, that's a great option. When you get to the bottom, just roll back up. Again, you get here, you get a little stuck. Instead of jerking your way up, hang on to your legs, give yourself a little bit of assistance, and come back up. We'll do about 8 of these. Trying to keep control all the way through the motion. motions. So no hitching. You might find that your legs start out bent and then you start moving backwards a little bit. You can always shift yourself back forward. Let's do a couple more. Last one. And we're just going to lean back and hold it here. Take your arms out to the sides and just lift one toe up at a time, keeping that core really engaged. Back stays long, chin is neutral here. Put those heels down, sitting up straight. Take a little break, let your legs come long, shake your legs out. Bring your feet back up. Arms come out, lower all the way down to your back. Keeping your fingertips pointing toward the ceiling, lift your knees up one at a time. So we're going to do some dead bugs, which is your opposite limbs are moving away from your middle of your plane, your middle of your body. So if you want to keep your knees bent here, that's a perfect option. You're just going to tap one toe down, take the opposite arm back, and then pull it back together. And then switch. Come together. A lot of people I see doing this, and when one arm comes back, the other one wants to go forward. That's okay, but try not to do it because then you end up sort of shifting over to that side. So you're not really keeping those hips down and you're really kind of losing the core structure there. If you want more, straighten your arms and let one leg go long and the opposite arm go back. Either one of these options is fine. You can also combine. So one leg can stay long, one leg can bend. Sometimes people find it easier on one side if you've got some spinal stenosis or some back issues, and one side's a little tighter or a little bit more painful. It's fine to, you don't have to do the exact same thing on both sides. What I do want you to focus on is keeping that core engaged so you're not wiggling around all over the place. Last one here. Pull your knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little hug. And we're going to roll over to the right. Press yourself up onto all fours. Give me a little kneeling cat-cow. And we're going to move into a plank side tap. So if you want, you can keep your knees on the floor if you're not ready for a full plank here. And you're just going to hold this plank here. No taps. If you're ready for the plank, pick those knees up. Hold your body really tight and strong. Pull your belly button in. Squeeze your pelvic floor muscles like you have to go to the bathroom. Pull your shoulder blades back and down, and you're just going to take one leg off to the side and bring it back in. And then switch. Try not to shift the hips around. Nice neutral spine, neck is long. One more time. Hold the plank. Drop your knees down. Push back into child's pose. We're going to come back into that plank, and so get used to this feeling here of shifting your hips forward and back. We're going to do this with our legs straight. So the next time you bring those hips forward, tuck your toes under. You're just going to straighten your legs and push your hips straight up toward the ceiling. Pushing your heels down onto the floor. So we're in downward facing dog here. You're between your biceps. Now you're going to shift that weight forward again. So your hips are coming forward, arms stay straight, shoulders come right over wrists, hips drop down into plank. Push back. Shift forward. Push back. And forward. Keeping the core engaged. Think about moving everything with your abdominal wall. So as you pull those abs in, it's going to lift your hips and push yourself back. As you come forward, you're kind of resisting that, so you're keeping the belly tight. Come back. And forward. And back. And forward. One more time. Hold it here. Drop your knees. Push back. We're going to stand up from here. So set one foot on the floor. Coming back to standing. We're going to do a bird dog in the air, or warrior three modification. So what I want you to do to start is hands on the hips. So you're just going to shift your hips back, take your right leg back, lift, and then lower. And when you do this, I want you to think about keeping your body as straight and as long as you can. So no opening up the hips here, no leaning forward and then picking your leg up. You want to pretend like you've got a broomstick tied from your head down to your ankle, and you can't bend too much there. Now let's do 4 on the other side. Same thing. Keeping those hips squared up. Whoop, there goes my balance. Standing leg stays strong. Keeping that core tight. So we're going to add on here. We're going to go back to the right side, shoulders back and down. And you're going to take your right leg back again. Your left arm is going to come up here by your biceps, and you're just going to reach. Go as low as you can, trying to make a T out of your body if you can. But don't open that hip up. So you want to make sure that your hips are squared up. You're really squeezing the back of that standing leg and pushing your right leg back, pushing your heel back. Engaging that standing leg, really engaging your core. Finding that balance, finding that power. 4, 3, 2, bring it back up, switch sides. Arm by your ear, and then lower down, finding that balance. Don't let your hips open up, keeping them squared. If you find them opening, come a little higher here, don't go so low. You really want to be able to engage the back of that standing leg and your core. and engage. So this is a great time to back away from your counter and just tap your hand onto that counter, finding your balance, and then just lift your arm a little bit. See if you can lift it off and hold that balance. 4, 3, 2, come on up, other side, extend, and lower. Engage the core. 4, 3, 2, and up. Shake it out. We'll come back to that. Coming back onto your hands and knees. We're going to go into what I call a beast. I call it a beast because somebody else called it a beast. I didn't make it up. The beast is basically you're in a quadruped position here, but your knees are raised. So you're engaging your quads, keeping your shoulders strong, wrists are right underneath your shoulders, engaging those quads, squeeze tight. So don't just lift here and then push all your weight into your hands. That's not the point. You really want to kind of push those hips back until you can feel your thighs start to engage. And then you want to keep that. Hold it for 5 seconds. Then we're going to push back with our feet so that we're in a plank. Bring your left hand to the middle. Open up into a side plank. This is a perfect option right here. You can set one knee down. Holding this side plank, you want to engage your obliques. And then you're going to slowly come back to the center. Walk those feet back in. Hold your beast. Step back. Rotate to the other side. Setting your knee down is fine. Come back to the center. Walk your feet in. Squeeze your thighs. Push back until you can really feel them engage. Step back. Hand in the middle. Open up. Coming back to the center. Walk your feet in. And up beast. Engage. Step back. Hand in the middle. And rotate. Don't sink. Don't sink into your shoulder. Don't sink into your hip. Keep really strong all the way through. Back to the center. Walk your feet in. Engage. Got 2 more on each side. Feet back. Hand to the center. Open up. Come back to the center. Feet in. Engage. Feet back. Hand in the middle. Open up. Back to plank. Feet in. Beast. Walk back. Hand in the middle. Open up. Come back to the center last time. Engage. So squeeze your thighs here. They might get lazy. Walk back. Hand in the middle. Engage. Come back to the center. Finding that plank, hold it here. Set your feet down, or knees down. We're gonna come back onto our back, rolling all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest. Just rock side to side. You can let your arms come out to the side here. Let your shoulders relax a little bit. Come back to the center. And we're gonna do some bicycles. So I like to vary my speed on my bicycles. I like to road bike. So when I'm climbing a big hill, you know, you're in a big gear, or a little gear, I guess. So you have to push really hard into those pedals and you're going slow. Each revolution is a lot slower and a lot stronger in that bicycle. When you're riding down a hill or on a flat, you want to pedal quick and it's a little easier. So, but either way, you really want to keep those abs engaged and try not to jerk on your head when you're going side to side. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you don't have to lift your shoulders up off the floor at all, or you can lift your shoulders and don't do the rotation part. It's totally up to you, but whatever you're doing, try not to pull your chin down toward your chest. Try to relax your head into your hands. If you are rotating, make sure that you're taking your armpit toward your knee, not your elbow. So you're not pulling your elbow over, you're pushing your armpit up and over. So you're engaging across your body here, trying to shorten this distance. Here we go. I'm going to start with just the feet. I also like to alternate between pointing and flexing here, just for whatever reason. So we're going to start slow. Keeping the belly in. Do 4 more. So the higher your legs are off the floor is another way to ease up the intensity here. So if you're pushing up against the ceiling, your lever is shorter and it's a little easier on your low back. If you're lowering down, you have gravity working against you a little bit more, so you have to engage a little bit more in those abs. So find your sweet spot. Just make sure you're challenging yourself without putting a lot of pressure on that low back. This is one of those places where if you need to, go ahead and put your hands under your back. Don't worry about the arms at all. Just pushing those legs out, supporting the lumbar spine. You're still engaging your core. Here we go. We're going to pick it up a little bit. Came to a flat. I'm going to do some timing here. Two more. I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to add that little rotation. One more slow. Let's pick up the pace. Push. So just because you're going faster doesn't mean your arms are moving faster and you're flopping around up there. Keep that engagement, pushing your armpit toward your knee. 8 more. Last one. Let's do 4 more slow. And quick. Pulling those knees in, rocking side to side. We've got 2 more exercises. So rolling onto your side again, we're going to press back up to standing. The first one is called arabesque crunch. This is a bar class exercise. Actually, you might recognize a lot of these from bar class. I'm going to use my little weight. You can use this if you need to for balance or something a little higher if you have a countertop or even a wall. So your weight is going to be up here and your motion in your arm is going to be slightly bent. You're going to be pulling your shoulder blade down like you're trying to put that shoulder blade in your back pocket. So you're just engaging your lats and those muscles right around your shoulder blade as you push that shoulder back and down. So you're not doing this motion. It's more of a downward pushing motion. Your leg on the same side is going to be back, knee bent, and you're just lifting your leg. So you're squeezing kind of the saddlebag area, engaging your glute and that outer hip. And then you're going to put those 2 together. So your arm is up, leg comes back. This arm can be holding on or it can be on your hip, be holding on in front. You're just going to engage and lower. Keeping your chest lifted and really squeezing the glute. A little pause in the middle there. Let's do 8 more. And switch sides. Same thing. Again, you're engaging, so make sure you've got a nice balance here. Lifting that leg, bend the knee slightly, and you're just going to keep that engaged the whole time. You're just making it a little bit stronger contraction, loosening up just a bit, but you're still keeping those muscles working. You might feel differently on one side than you do on the other. Still pulling up through this standing hip, so you don't let those hips come back too far. You don't want to hyperextend through your back. So you're lifting your chest, pushing it forward, and then squeezing that glute. This is not a back bend. Eight more. Bring the arm down and just shake those hips out a little bit. We've got 1 more. So again, you can grab a heavier weight here if you want. If you have a baby at home, you can swing your baby around in a circle, or a dog. This is 15 pounds. It might get too heavy after a little while. But what you want to do here is make sure that you're keeping that core engaged as you move this weight away from your body. So we tend to carry heavy objects across a room, right? So if you're slumping here and you're carrying this heavy object, you're putting a lot of pressure on that low back, right? So you want to straighten up, engage your core, just tighten up your shoulders so that you're really stabilizing whatever this is that you're holding, and you're kind of distributing the weight throughout your entire center of your body. So we're going to make a circle, and knees are slightly bent. This is called athletic stance. Not hyperextending here through the back, not coming too tippy forward here. Just nice and neutral, but engaging everything down. Little kegel there. Make a circle. Keeping your hips steady. Don't shrug. Go the other direction. If you start to feel fatigued in your shoulders or your upper back, just don't make as big of a circle. Keeping that really small, but you're still engaging that core. We're going to go the other way. And switch direction. Don't let your abs loosen up. Keep them tight. Don't let your back take over. 2 more. And bring it down. Go ahead and set your weight down. So that's the end of that particular workout. You can do it again. That was 32 minutes. With me talking, it's probably about 28. So do it again, you get an hour of core. Have fun, bye.